We got the results in from Wednesday's action, and you're looking at it right here. 19 wins for the computer and 33 losses. Bad night, really bad night. 36.5% winning percentage. So, no point in really going through and recapping all the games. Such a miserable night for the computer. We shall never speak of this night again. To top things off, we got no money line plays. So, on the season, the computer drops to 190 victories, 154 defeats, and we still maintain that 13 money line bets that we have converted. So 55%. So still not rivalry here, but we're still pretty early in the season. Lots of teams have only played just a handful of games. So as those numbers increase, the winning percentage will also increase. So we've got a light night on tap for Thursday, and I had a little thought in my head. I kind of wanted to see if I could do something here. These are the games set up for Thursday, and I got lines on everyone but one. It's 10:30 on Wednesday night as I record this, so I'm going to release this video on Thursday in the afternoon, sometime before first tip of these games. But what we're looking at here is the way we've been doing it. So we run the computer prediction, and it says NC State at home to Bethune-Cookman. Computer says they'll win by 29. The Vegas line is 25.5. So we say North Carolina State's our play because we say they'll win by more than the line. Here's an underdog. So this is Kent State at home to Detroit Mercy. Vegas says 5.5. The computer ran its predicted score and it said 5. So they don't. Kent State doesn't cover, means the underdog is to play here. So we've been doing this, and we've had varying results, some good and some bad, some pretty bad. So what I thought I would do is I would do things the traditional way and not change anything up here. There's only these 13 games on tap for Thursday. But then down here, I did the same 13 games, but I gave the home team a 3-point advantage. So, and it did flip some of these games. So the experiment I want to do is just see what works better. Should I be given a home court advantage? Now, I've always thought in my formula of how I do these predictions, I've always thought that I've had that home court advantage factored in, but college basketball is such a significant difference. It really is a big difference, and especially later in the year. These guys just get tired, and they got to travel, and they get some tired legs, even though they had a night off from before. It's still a big deal. It's still tough, versus the team that stays home and sleeps in their own bed that night, and they definitely have an advantage. So, how much of an advantage is the question? And I have never really taken a scientific look at it. So I kind of want to do that just to see going forward how that plays out. So in the first game here, North Carolina State and Bethune-Cookman, instead of 83-54, since North Carolina State's at home, we say 86-54. Now it doesn't flip the pick, which is I'm trying to flip some picks here to get on the other side, but Texas does. So Texas on the road to Seton Hall. This will be a big game tomorrow. Computer says 69-65. The line is 1.5. Computer says Texas will win and cover on the road against a good team, Seton Hall. But if we give Seton Hall 3 points, it flips it the other way. So now it's 69-68 with a 1-point win for Texas, and we're under the line. So now the underdog is the play. Now that happened to 4 different games. Kent State at home to Detroit Mercy. 5.5 is the line, and the computer says by 5, making Detroit the dog and the play. But here, if we give Kent State another 3 points, it flips it. So now Kent State is the favorite. It happened a couple more times, and I can't remember which ones they were. But I'm gonna do a little experiment here, to see which way produces the most wins. Since it's such a light night, when there's 50 plus games, I'll tell you, I'm doing predictions for 2 or 3 hours. Gets a little tough. Uh, but I might run this for a little bit, anyways, just to kind of get an idea. Are we onto something here? Is 3 points enough? Is it too much? Is it, not enough? You know, that's what I'm kind of considering at the moment. So we're going to start this experiment on Thursday, and we're going to play. We're going to count these games on the contest the traditional way. But if we prove scientifically, if you will, that giving the home court advantage, the home team, some kind of points as an advantage, then we're going to shift because that's part of the deal here. I don't want to go the whole season if what I know is to be inferiors in play when I know there's something better out there, right? So we're going to make this change if that is the deal. Now, I went back and looked at last night since there was 50 plus games, and it helped in some and it hurt in some. Some it didn't matter. But I just kind of want to see over the long term what's the difference here. Can I do this? And is that something Vegas is doing? Because sometimes these lines, especially last night, the lines were just crazy, I thought. But Vegas ended up being right. And the only thing I could really see that they did was they gave a home court advantage to the home team. So, much respect to Vegas. You'll never hear me call them dummies because they are not, man. They're so good at this. But why fight them? Why not join? But I got to see how they do it, and I'm gonna chart my own course here and see if I can't figure it out. So I'll go through these real quick, just a traditional way. We've covered this one already. We've covered these three already. Hampton on the road to William and Mary. Now, Hampton is. Let me pull up Hampton. Hampton is 1-6. Good team. Not a good team. Their only win was to Norfolk State, which is actually not a bad team. 1-point victory. So why are we playing Hampton? Well, because William and Mary is 0-9. So between the two teams, there's one win. So someone's got to win tomorrow. So we say it's going to be Hampton. So, but Vegas is 3.5, and I got to think it's because William and Mary is at home. But playing this out the traditional way, let me get back here. Yeah, William and Mary is at home, and they're laying 3.5 to Hampton. So playing this the traditional way, we're on the other side of the line, so we're betting the underdog to win, and that is a money line play, and that's why this is shaded in green. We only have one other one tonight, and we'll talk about that one. So that's that game. Fordham at home to Long Island. 5.5 is the spread. And I get to 17 even without giving Fordham a home court advantage. So it makes me feel good about that pick. I think they're gonna beat that 5.5. I don't think it's gonna be much of an issue. But tell you, sometimes Long Island, they start hitting threes, and it's a different story. I mean, they can add some points up pretty quick. This game, there's no line, but I've got my number here. So whatever that line ends up being, we'll just be on either side, and we'll see if it has any effect down below in our experiment. Purdue, I guess they're the number one team in the country by virtue of the, I don't know, coaches, sports writers, I don't know. I'm a computer poll, and I love Purdue, but I got them number 4. LSU, Houston, they're tied, actually. This value is the same. I have them both tied at number 1. Arizona, number 3, and Purdue, number 4. So can that change? Absolutely, that could change. But, I'm a computer. I'm not a sports writer, or a coach that has their AD fill out the thing and, doesn't really care. Doesn't matter at this point in time anyways. But Purdue on the road to Rutgers, man. So, Rutgers is not Purdue. We'll just put it that way. Vegas says 11.5, and the computer says, no, it's going to be 34. It's going to be a big-time win for Purdue because they're really a monster. This one's interesting because Vegas agreed with me, and I didn't think they would. Pittsburgh at home to Colgate. Now, Colgate has better numbers than Pitt. Pitt is a football school. I don't know if they pay much attention to basketball, but they have had some pretty good, showings. But make no mistake, Pitt is a ball school. And they're pretty damn good in football too. But Colgate's got better numbers in this matchup. So computer said Colgate by 8, and I thought this has got to be a money line play. But then I looked at the Vegas line, and Vegas agrees. Colgate is laying 2.5. So pretty surprising to hear that. St. John's at home to Monmouth. Folks, Monmouth is, you pull them up. They're 7-1. Their only loss was to Charlotte, but they beat Towson, which, played Ohio State tough tonight. Beat Lehigh, beat St. Joe's, beat Princeton. Man, Princeton's a good team. They beat Cincinnati. Cincinnati's a good team, really good team. Beat Niagara, beat Canisius. So Monmouth is not something that St. John's is just going to something they can't mail this performance in. They better be now. St. John's is a better team, but they better be taking Monmouth seriously because that's going to be a tough matchup. Now Vegas says 8.5. The computer says 4, and so we're taking the dog. Now down below, that is down below. Oh, I'm sorry, I keep doing this. I'm actually working on the wrong spreadsheet. So the line is 8.5. Computer says 4, so we're taking the dog, Monmouth. But down below, yeah, we're still taking the dog. So 79-72, 7-point win. They still don't cover. So that makes that underdog play seem a bit stronger. New Mexico at home to Denver. 11.5 is this is the game that inspired me. 11.5 is the line. The computer says New Mexico only wins by 10. I happen to think that that's not really a good play. So we flipped it down here. So we're adding 3 points to New Mexico because they're home, and now they win by 13 and they cover the line. So we flipped the pick. That's are the wheels turning. Like I should be doing something to kind of compensate. Iowa, who the computer with Iowa, but Iowa State's these are two great teams, but Iowa does have slightly better numbers, and they're at Iowa. The line is 4.5. Iowa State, Iowa wins by 4 and doesn't cover. So, but down below, we flip it. Iowa covers. So, I want to get some games to flip just so I can make a good comparison, and that worked out for me there with that pick. Iowa. Gonzaga at home to Merrimack. 29.5 is the line, and computer says 36, so we're taking Gonzaga. So this one's interesting. So we talk about Pitt being a football school, not a basketball school. Well, that's the same thing with Arizona. University of Arizona, is pretty bad in football, but man, are they good in basketball. It's just a matter of where your priorities are. These coaches come and get these big, huge contracts. It doesn't save a lot of money for the other programs. So you kind of have to pick one and go with it. Some colleges can balance it out, and that's kind of more of a function of, the support around them, the university president, where his priorities are. If he sees that revenue coming in and he's a smart guy, he or she, they're going to do whatever makes them the most money, I think, is what a university president is looking at. So go get a good coach for, let's say it's basketball, because you're going to get a lot of revenue in basketball. We're still going to get revenue in football, but we're not going to put the priority on it. So we're going to pay someone half of what we're going to pay the basketball coach. That kind of mindset. Well, that's very much in play at Arizona State. Football is where they shine, and not basketball. So you get what you get out of that. Now, Grand Canyon is an interesting team because they're pretty damn good, for a school that you just haven't really heard much about. They're 7-1. Now, they haven't played a really tough schedule. Their one loss was to Wyoming, who got absolutely crushed by Arizona tonight, just crushed. But let's see. They beat Grambling, North Florida, Prairie View, A&M, Pepperdine. Pepperdine is, Pepperdine's okay. Loyola Marymount, LMU. I'm just going to call them LMU because I can't say Loyola. I just can't say it. UTSA, another football school, by the way, not a basketball school. And they absolutely destroyed Mississippi Valley State. So not a really strong schedule, but their numbers are pretty good because the computer will balance everything out. You get punished for not playing tough teams, but with all that being said, Grand Canyon is a favorite here by the computer, but Vegas can't overcome that Pac-12 mentality, versus not even a mid-major. This is a mid-minor, I guess you'd call them that. But anyways, we'll see that play out. Computer's pretty convinced. Be a 15-point game, and it doesn't flip down here. It's still Grand Canyon once we add the 3 points to Arizona State. So I think we got 4 games to flip there. So we'll run this little experiment. We'll see how it plays out. So I'm going to not be able to update these lines. I'm going to be able to update the one, but I won't be able to do a video. And these lines move throughout the night. As the betting public will move that line, and sometimes the smart money will come in and really move the line. I have to play with what I got here because I'm going to be tied up all day and won't be able to update the spreadsheet and won't be able to do a recording for it. So I will get this game updated. I have to have something there. So, that I can do. I can squeeze in time for that. But that's going to do it for tonight, or today, rather. I'm going to release this about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Just got to get it out there before first tip, which is 3:30 West Coast. I'm on the West Coast. So those are West Coast times. So hopefully you look for this to pop up and maybe give me some input. What do you think? The 3-point home court advantage, is that not enough? Is it just the right amount, or is it too much? Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So thanks for checking it out, and hope to see you again next time. All right, thanks. Bye.